Tonight we will be examining the Siemens bribery scandal. But first, a little bit of background. Siemens AG is a German multinational conglomerate and the largest industrial manufacturing company in Europe. It was founded over 170 years ago. It employs about 380,000 people and had revenues in excess of 80 billion for the last 3 years. It also developed a corrupt organizational culture in which hundreds of millions of euros were put into slush funds that were then used to pay bribes in order to obtain lucrative contracts. In November 2006, Siemens auditors completed a confidential report that detailed a number of payments that were impossible to verify. They could not identify who received the money or what services were provided. The suspicious payments made from 2000 to 2006 totaled 1.3 billion euros. In January 2007, the company paid a 418 million fine to the European Commission because the company was accused of heading a cartel that was dividing up the market for power station equipment. In October 2007, the company paid a 201 million euro fine related to bribery in its communications equipment business. Various senior executives were accused of committing bribery. These executives were prosecuted or resigned. So that brings us to the question for tonight. Why did executives ignore the anti-bribery regime? When you look at the 2001 Siemens Business Conduct Guidelines, it had very clear anti-bribery provisions. These were agents agrees to comply with the requirements of the anti-corruption laws applicable to the parties. Another provision read, no employee may directly or indirectly offer or grant unjustified advances to another in connection with the business dealings, none in monetary form nor some other advantage. So, despite these policies, no appropriate action was taken against the perpetrators. The Siemens Business Conduct Code was effectively a paper program and ineffective to stopping corruption. Siemens also had a corporate culture which held the following beliefs when it came to bribery and corruption. Firstly, everyone does it and it's simply part of doing business in some countries. Secondly, I did it for the company. I didn't put any money in my own pocket. Thirdly, we're having these problems only because Siemens is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And finally, the US government supports Siemens competitors, especially General Electric. The executives and the employees bought into these four myths, which simply does not hold true in a world of anti-corruption. So what did the CEO do to show that there's a zero tolerance policy? Well, the steps taken by Siemens was Siemens cooperated with the authorities. The company was fully cooperative in all phases of the investigation with law enforcement. Fighting any criminal charges would be imprudent given the growing volume and evidence against the company. So resolving the criminal investigation would help Siemens from a reputational and a financial perspective. So in essence, Siemens was very transparent and disclosed all information to the Departments of Justice and the SEC. Secondly, Siemens started an independent investigation. Siemens appointed independent advisors to lead these investigations to conduct an independent and comprehensive investigation to determine whether anti-corruption regulations have been violated and to conduct an independent and comprehensive assessment of the compliance and control systems of Siemens. The CEO appointed a premier law firm and Deloitte Forensics to lead these investigations. Siemens also set up an internal investigations project office To ensure the success of the investigation, the company set up an amnesty program for current and former employees to gain additional information and evidence. The company implemented an effective corporate compliance program. The company retained an independent compliance monitor for 4 years post the scandal to oversee the continuous evaluation of the compliance. Siemens implemented anti-corruption training programs. The company introduced an all-encompassing anti-corruption handbook. The company implemented a whistleblower line. The company strengthened internal audit function and internal policies and procedures. The company further implemented a supplier code of conduct so that suppliers share similar values and compliance issues to Siemens. And finally, the company implemented a corporate disciplinary program to evaluate allegations of misconduct and to determine appropriate disciplinary actions. Thank you.